Felicitations! Hello, y'all. It's me, Felicia Day, and this is my podcast. Welcome. So, I missed podcast number 69 because it was an interview podcast and live one that I did on my Twitch. So, I just want to apologize for not giving that one a shout out, a knowing wink, a kind of snorty laugh. You know we all needed it. This is episode 70. So, we're caught up. And I wanted to do a little solo podcast because I've been doing a little experiment with the live podcasts, and I just wanted to get a sense of what y'all think of them. Do you like them? Do you want them mixed up with this? I want to tell you that podcasting is not the professional milieu for me. I do like doing them, and I want to do them on my own terms, and I can't seem to find a polished enough concept that would be commercial. So for all y'all out there who like this version of it, I want to thank you. I'm looking for ways that if you want to chip in and support it a little bit, you'll be able to, but I don't want to get more polished in general, in life. So here I am. So I'm going to be doing this one as just a little solo update. Now, I just want to also establish that August is totally wackadoodle. I'm going to be out of town for a week. I'm writing on Mystery Science Theater again. I just finished an episode, which I can't talk about, but I have to tell you, it was so much fun. The group is so good. I got to work with Jonah in the room, and he's leading the room, and he's so good. I can't tell you how wonderful he is at what he does, and so funny. So I honestly cannot wait for people to see these new episodes. I'm so happy to be writing with my brother on 2 episodes. And so I just finished writing, but I'm going to be doing another one. I'm going out of town. So all of my timing for all of my stuff is a little bit up in the air. My newsletter went out today, and I know that usually I alternate between Felicitations the podcast and Felicitations the newsletter. So just know it's all a mess until the end of the summer, and then things will get kind of a little bit back on track, except maybe not, because then my conventions are going to start again, which I will give a shout out to. If y'all want to hear them, would you like to? So I have committed my fall, and if you get the newsletter, you will have this in concrete thing, so you won't have to write it down. But in the fall, I have coming up Kansas City Planet Comic-Con, and that is a last-minute ad because of actually doing the last 2 podcasts live with some of the fellow Supernatural folk. They were like, you should come on, so many Supernatural people are going to be there. And I have to tell you, I'm so excited to get out of the house. I'm so excited for the plane ride. I'm going to write. I'm going to just drink some cranberry juice and stare out the window. I will be wearing my mask religiously, but yes, I'm excited. So here are the 5 conventions that I have, and one to be determined in October that has not been announced yet, but I'm excited about. It is Planet Comic-Con, Kansas City, August 20th through 21st. I will be there. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Dragon Con, September 4th through 5th. I don't know exactly the days I'm going to be there. I think I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Definitely not Monday. I will be in Cincinnati, Ohio, at Comic Expo. That is a rescheduled one from 2 years ago, and I'm very excited because Cincinnati, every time I go there on book tour, there's so many wonderful fans, so I'm really psyched for this one. It is in September 17th through 19th. Then supposedly, I will have one. I do have a mystery con in October I will be doing. It'll be a stateside one. I might be going to Sweden to do Heroes Comic-Con Stockholm. I'm really hoping I do. That, again, has been delayed almost 2 years. And I really, really, really want to go. So I've never been to Sweden. It's been on a bucket list, and also it just looks like a great con, so I'm really crossing my fingers that everything works. There's some strange things out there with the Delta virus. I don't know how this convention thing is going to go, but I'm just crossing my fingers because I definitely need out of this house. I don't know if y'all get this, but I'll just walk around and my house and I'll get glimpses of memories just popping into my head of like, oh, remember that place you had coffee in London, and oh, remember that place when you were doing Red Werewolf Hunter that you used to go to get that cherry scone? And oh, remember that sculpture you saw in Paris that one time? So my brain is so craving to get out of my regular house. It's kind of driving me crazy. So I am going out of town on a little vacation just for 5 days. But it's the baby, and she wants to go see the redwoods again. And, you know, it'd be nice to go somewhere alone. I love her. Yeah, so that's what's going on. I hope to see some of you there. Please mention the podcast or whatever if you see me, if you listen to it, because it does encourage me. As I say, I do enjoy doing this, but I don't sometimes when I'm alone, you know, with no network or anybody helping me edit. It's a little like, well, should you be doing this? I should. I have all my streaming going on. I am still doing my regular streams so I'll be doing the podcast live on Tuesdays. I do like doing it. I just don't know if it's every week. Maybe. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do the interview and a regular podcast as well. That's 2 podcasts a week. So I don't know. Maybe I'll alternate it. Do every other podcast and interview. Because in the month of August, Mark Shepard is supposed to be on the 3rd of August next week. And that should be a fun live podcast. And I have a guy, I'll be out of town the week after that. And then on the 17th, I think, I have a guy who's going to come and help me with credit card points and teach, hopefully, all of us how to use our credit card points to go awesome places. Because a friend of mine literally just took their credit card points and went and got a hotel room for a week in the Maldives and business class tickets for all points. And I was like, give it to me. So this person is an expert on this subject, and I actually am just excited to talk to them. So those are, I really actually want to interview. I did all the wonderful people from Supernatural. I still have some people I had to move. I will be rescheduling them. But honestly, sometimes a good conversation is with somebody who knows geology really well. So if you are one of my listeners and you are an expert in a field, please leave a comment on my Discord, because I actually am interested in, if you're into something obscure, I wanted to, if you're an expert in something, you're like a professor of Greek knowledge, come, drop me a line. I can't guarantee anything, but I certainly am interested in talking to people just in things that aren't just acting. So putting that out there. Also, I want to give a shout out to The Witcher, Undressing the Witcher podcast. Tom Lank and I are doing that, and it's really very wonderful. And Voyage to the Stars Season 3 just premiered. So if your ear holes are bored in any way, if you have a commute that just got dropped in your lap from post-COVID times, you got a lot of Felicia Day inside you if you want them. That sounded weird. So I don't know what else to say. It's been a really funny month of, I don't want to repeat anything I did in my newsletter. So I just will say, go read the newsletter, felicitations.substack.com, if you don't already subscribe to it. If not, go to your inbox. I don't want to repeat anything I did there, but like I said, this is a weird week because I did newsletter and felicitations in the same week, which usually I spread it out. Other than that, I've been working out a lot, and I tell you, I feel really good. And the days that I cheat and I ate a whole brownie on stream, I didn't feel good for the rest of the day. And so I think, y'all, I'm going to go out on a limb and saying that eating healthier gives you more energy. This is the funny thing, y'all. I did stop caffeine. I had been having green tea in the morning, and just either black tea or green tea in the mornings. I stopped that and I turned to decaf Earl Grey. I've been sleeping so much better. So am I some weird princess in the pea lady who, if she has even a whiff of caffeine, I can't sleep that night? I think it might be true. Yes. Yes, I'm not strange. It's making me angry. I don't want to be that sensitive. But the nerves. That should be put away. For, when you have a nervous disease, that's my problem. Okay. I did read a lot of books. Well, not a lot. I don't know what's been happening. I've been so busy because for 2 solid weeks, I did Mystery Science Theater. And if you guys don't know how this works, I'll give you a non-spoilery kind of summary. They decided to do, this is kind of like a writing room situation. So, basically the night before, I spent a couple of hours writing the riffs in a special program they have where you can match the time code to the riff. The time in the movie to what your joke is, right? And you always need to make sure it's in the right place. It's not too long. There's a lot of, it's kind of like surgery. And then the next day we pitched them to other people, and everybody pitches their jokes for certain moments. And I got to tell you, I think some of my riffs will get in, but Some of the other writers just make me laugh so much. It is really a great crew this season. And this is the first time I've ever done it, this process. I always just kind of remotely send in my riffs. And I have to tell you, it's really, I've said I have to tell you 5 times. I'm sorry. I love it. And this movie is it's a stinker. It's a good old stinker. I think the worse the movie, the better it is. Sometimes if a movie's just kind of mediocre, you don't really have much to say about it. The movie I just worked on, there were some long stretches when you're just like, "Whoa, this is bad." But then so many outrageous things happen. You just can't help but come up with joke after joke after joke. So it's really wonderful. I don't know what else I've been doing. I have been trying to work out and having a 4-year-old and working full time on that, and then trying to keep up with my streaming. Oh! The reason why I'm actually doing the felicitations this week is because the Tuesday night Felicitations Live was actually not, I don't think it's really appropriate for just turning into audio. So I urge all of you to go to my Twitch channel and watch my VODs and watch our 14th Guild anniversary. We did a 2-hour special. We live read some comic books. It was so fun. I was loving it. And I dug up a bunch of strange pictures. 14 years ago. That's like a whole teenager. And when you look at the pictures, you feel, it is this strange thing where memory is, it feels forever ago and yet yesterday. I think when we look at older people, we have to remember that 80-year-olds have the same thing that we're doing. They remember themselves when they're 15 like it's yesterday, and it feels like a century ago. So it's very strange. But we had a wonderful time, and there were so many great memories. I found 2 music videos I had written out all the lyrics to that we never made. So that was a surprise. I read the original outline for the Guild, and it was so different from the original. So in the outline that I wrote, Zabu was named Puck, and he, rather than in the first season his mom coming to get him, he had a wife who was a Nigerian princess, but maybe not. He met on the internet in an email, and in the end she was going to stay and be a regular character. So I don't remember it at all, but it goes to show you first drafts are definitely just a first draft. I think it turned out much better the way it was, but who knows? Just get it done. It took me like 2 years to actually, from putting the idea down on a piece of paper to actually making it, 2 years. So I'm really hoping my productivity increases. This year has been really great. I've done a couple of book proposals. I have an actual thing that I'm writing going into production next week. And it's not a video thing, but it is so close to my heart. I've worked so many years on it. I will be blasting you with this information. I really hope you guys love it as much as I do. So that's kind of exciting. And yeah, I'm the kind of person who has everything going on and yet feels like I'm not doing anything. I think we've already established that very firmly. All right. So book-wise, I read a great book that was suggested by my friend Sean Plott. If you'll remember that I created a show with Geek and Sundry called Spell Slingers, and Sean Plott was the host of that. If you ever want to get into Magic the Gathering, which is quite wonderful, they just sent me a awesome free puzzle box where I got some of the new crossover with D&D. Oh, let me just tell you also, I get a lot of free stuff in the mail, and I'm having to this is not a problem. This is like first class problem, but it's, like twice a year I'll get paid to tweet any of this stuff. Most of the time I'm just getting free stuff and they ask me to tweet about it. But then I've gotten to the point where I'm so bored, I'll just be like, yeah, send it. But why am I advertising this? So I finally have gotten, like, Felicia, do not take free stuff if you actually don't want it. So last week I turned down a bunch of Teenage Mutant, some kind of, just a couple of franchises I don't care about. And I was like, I don't want to represent that I like this. I'm just tweeting it because and then I was like, well, you should have just gotten it. Somebody might have liked it. I'm like, no. Have some self-discipline. Don't eat that brownie that I scarfed down during the stream. Don't have any self-discipline whatsoever. Stay on one career track. Never. So that's kind of what happened. So I will continue to link the free stuff that I like on my Instagram, and I'm always very transparent that it's either free, and if it is an ad, it's very clearly marked. So you'll know. But I would never. I haven't taken stuff that I didn't want to share. But it's getting to the point where, like, I'm like, just say no, because people are now approaching me more, and the temptation is like, free stuff. Blah, 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 blah. No, don't do that. Don't share anything that you wouldn't genuinely get if it wasn't free. Okay, first class problems again. My books. Okay, so anyway, my friend Sean Blott was like, you have to read this book. It is a book called There Is No Antimemetics Division by an author named qntm. I don't know. I actually meant to look up whether this person was truly named qntm or that. I mean, I'm going to assume it's a pseudonym for their authorship. They have a couple of books on Amazon, but this book was so cool. It was a mind trip. It is not like light reading. It is a tongue twister of your brain, and it's a very fun. It's just really fun. It's kind of like a Chris Nolan movie in a book form. That's what I will say. I could totally see Chris Nolan trying to turn it into a movie. But then I don't think it would work because it's very cerebral. Like half of it is in your head and you're wondering if something's real or not. It's very cool. If you like cyberpunk, I think you'd really respond to this book. And I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Sean. I am in the middle of reading Troy, the Greek Myths Reimagined by Stephen Fry. Loving it. I highly recommend the whole trilogy. He has a trilogy of heroes, mythos, and then his second one is Heroes, where he covers Theseus and Hercules and all of them. And then this third one, I believe, is the last one, and it is Troy. And essentially, it's the world of Homer, like the Odyssey and the Iliad and all of the Helen of Troy versus Greece kind of stuff. And this is my jam. So. And he doesn't, it's not funny, but there's humor behind it. And there's such love. And I love it so much. I mean, I'm so proud of myself because it was 2 years ago, I think I really started getting into this. Or was it like a year ago? I don't know. Into all this Greek myths and Roman literature thing. And now when I read this, I'm recognizing like half the names. I'm never going to recognize all of them. But half of them I'm like, oh yeah, I know who Peleus was. Or I don't know how to pronounce it, but I recognize that word. My next book up, after I finish Troy, which will probably be in the next couple days, my next one is The Tyrant Baru Cormorant, Book 3 by Seth Dickinson. I've read the first two. I know I've raved about them here. I cannot believe that I missed this book coming out last year. And I'm so mad about it. I have to say thank you, Amazon, for putting it in my queue, and I did buy it on Kindle. I broke my rule about not buying books from Amazon. I do my best. I buy from Booklist and Powell's mostly, and I've been really good about that. And with the kid, I go to the independent bookstores. But I got so excited seeing it. I'd already pre-ordered Troy like a year and a half ago, and I just got so excited about seeing the Tyrant Baru Cormorant. I assume this is the third. It's such a good trilogy. If you like fantasy, I'm thinking about doing another book club, and I really I know vaginal fantasy was really fun, but I felt like the romance genre was a little narrow. It'd be really cool to be able to just do a generalized book club where we get to do nonfiction and maybe read a trilogy, over 3 months. I don't know. If you are interested in that, please leave me some feedback if y'all are interested in that. If not, if you don't want to leave any feedback, that's your life. So, so TV, so Garth Marenghi's Darkplace was just released on Amazon. And the only time I'd seen it, I was years and years and years ago on YouTube. It was bootlegged. So if you have not watched Garth Marenghi's Darkplace, I really urge you to watch it. It is so funny. You will recognize people if you watch IT Crowd or if you watch What We Do in the Shadows. Same comedy crew, a lot of the same people. And, here's the irony about comedy. You will see the same men working together over and over again. You barely see the same women. The women often change. And that, it's something that I always look, when I look at Judd Apatow's work or, even stateside, it really feels like, this is why I've always been so frustrated with comedy. It's very male dominated and the guys stick together. They'll create comedy together for years and years, decades. They're friends forever. Where are the women who started out with them? They don't collaborate with them for the decades that they do. I think it's just so readily apparent when you look at it. Like, yeah, dudes want to hang out with their dude friends, and the women are not part of that group. And so, yeah, it's kind of unfair. It's kind of unfair. I don't know where this actress is from Garth Marenghi's Darkplace, but she's so funny. Spaced, and I can name like 10, 15 things where I'm like, yeah, where did the woman who played the wife or the girlfriend, did she ever get to play with them again? Get the chip off your shoulder, Felicia. Just an observation. At any rate, this show is so hilarious. I've also been watching Loki. It's good. I don't know. I mean, to me, WandaVision really tops it. I don't know about Loki. I kind of, it's hard. And with Black Widow, it's really hard to be invested in characters who are dead in the major timeline. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's really hard. It's hard to sort of like, well, I mean, I'm not a prequel person. I don't like diving into prequels or epilogue. You know, I'm invested in the main characters I'm invested in. And when I see, when in the storyline, just the storyline, the main storyline. And so like, if you're like, oh, we're doing a spin-off, or I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I love it, sometimes not. Like, obviously, Doctor Who did it really successfully, and with the spin-off. Yeah, Loki's good. It's okay. I just want more Owen Wilson, to be honest with you. I think he's like the outstanding. I mean, Hiddleston is fantastic. They're such good actors. But at the end of the day, I'm okay on it. I'm glad I watched it. So that's my opinion of that. And that's all the TV I watched. I've been so busy so basically the minute my baby goes to bed, because I go to bed, I put her to sleep, I lay down with her, and she has been a late sleeper lately. And then the minute she goes to sleep, I go and work on my MST3K riffs, and then the next morning rinse and repeat. So it's been really hard for me to get anything else but streaming done. And so I'm excited to get back to maybe some TV and catch up on some shows, even though they're just like so many. It's so overwhelming. Please stop making TV for a while so I can catch up. Gaming-wise, Fortnite has really been dominating. I have to tell you, I said it again, the guild has really gotten us hooked into that world, so that's it. Oh, but you know what I did play the other night, which was really fun with Ryan Koppel? Poyo Poyo versus Tetris II. So it's like competitive Tetris, and you play up to 4 people. So Poyo Poyo is actually, I think, a more strategic game because you want to do combos that fall down. It's kind of like blobs of the same color, and if you match floor blobs of the same color, then they disappear, kind of like in Tetris. But if you can combo them out, and the same thing with Tetris, but I think you get way more points in Poyo Poyo. And you can even play Poyo Poyo versus Tetris. So your friend can play Tetris and you can play Poyo Poyo and compete side by side. It's very fun. And I think it's on sale for like $12, which makes me so pissed off because last week I bought it for me and my friend Ryan Koppel, and I paid $60 for the 2 games. So pick it up today because it's on sale on Steam, and I'm so angry about it. Give me my money back. Also, I just downloaded a game called The Forgotten City, and it is about a Roman city that is cursed. And I cannot. And then I learned that it was built. It's like a Skyrim, a Skyrim add-on. And I was just like, not official one, but you know. And I was like, oh, what? So that's something I'm very excited to play, as well as finishing up Mass Effect 1, which it's brilliant. How can you argue with the fact that Mass Effect is one of the best video game series ever? You can't. I'll punch you. I won't punch you. I will. Just lightly in the shoulder. And then I'll go, you're dumb. No, I won't. I won't do that. Okay, let's get going. Questions. Let's Disney Things from the Discord says, okay, first and most importantly, I'm loving the podcast. A million thanks for keeping me distracted during my 4-hour flight delay. You're welcome. I will talk for many hours for no reason. I was wondering if when you travel, you have something that you look for. I always try to find an aquarium or a zoo wherever I go. I absolutely love the Seattle Aquarium and the San Diego Zoo. The San Diego Zoo is incredible. I've never been to the Seattle Aquarium. Have to go. I'd love to say that it was something intellectual like that. I love them croissants. So basically, if there is a bakery, I will find the best bakery and go there. Bakery, number 1. Number 2, coffee shops. Number 3, bric-a-brac. You know, the kind of places that has stationery but also handmade not doilies, but just hipster varietals. Because that's the best place to get gifts for friends. And I used to maybe want to go shopping for myself more. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. There's nothing clothes-wise unless it's vintage, which smells like dead old lady. You know, I do have some good vintage pieces, but I don't have I think especially becoming a mom, since becoming a mom, I don't have the bandwidth to dig in clothing. So I just go and I'll go to the sale rack and I'll buy something that I really love. Or my dad usually gives me a gift certificate every Christmas that I just use through the year for a couple outfits. So I used to go for myself and now I go to buy gifts. So that would include now toy stores, because you got to get the gifts and you can't just get those Thai stuffed animals at the airport anymore. She's 4 years old. She's got them all. So I got to bring something back for her. And yeah, so I would say croissants number 1, coffee shops number 2, bric-a-brac, hipster bric-a-brac, and toy stores. Those are my and then 5 would be like a cool place to go to dinner. I love, especially if there's a subculture in a certain city that I have never really eaten the food of. So, you know, like Filipino or Nigerian food, you know, like I love to find more, you know, for Portland, there's all sorts of different kinds of restaurants that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, honestly, the only reason to travel is to visit the things you can't get in your house, right? So not only is that great walks and views, but just kind of getting to know the city and doing pocket neighborhood. You know, I love to find a neighborhood and just get out of the Uber and then walk back to my hotel, because then I get to kind of get to know the area and inevitably find some places I don't want to walk through, because the arteries between neighborhoods and downtowns are generally not great, but I do it anyway. So I'm still here. MST3K Temple asks, Felicia, what was the first movie you remember seeing in a theater? Thank you for asking. Do you know what it was? Bambi. Do you know why? Trauma. Seeing Bambi in the movie theater at probably 3 years old, seeing Bambi's mother, spoiler alert, bite it. Horrible. In fact, I cannot remember a movie. Okay, I remember seeing E.T. in the movie theater, and I remember being obsessed with the glowing finger. But I was so young, I don't think my mom checked for age appropriateness for anything. I remember, I've told this story many times, but my mom took me to see Aliens, and I was so terrified. I sat outside the theater in the hallway for like 2 hours while she watched the rest of it. I think my brother was in there too with her. I don't remember him being terrified as I was, but I just could not handle it. So I don't remember that many good experiences. I tend to remember bad things. Do you have that same, is that just my brain? I remember seeing Attack of the Clones for the first time and being so sad. I remember seeing Our Life, which by Michael Keaton. And I think Nicole Kidman was in that, and he died of cancer, and it's just trauma. I think the memories that sear themselves in my brain particularly are the ones that are the most traumatic and not the most uplifting and funny. So that's kind of sad. Lucifar asks, you and your brother created a lot of content when working on the series Co-optitude. Do you have a favorite episode? I have so many favorite episodes. Goof Troop has to be one of my favorites because it's the first and funniest, I think. And I really loved the X-Files episode because we dressed up like Mulder and Scully, and that game was so bad. I really, really loved that one. So, that show, I really miss my brother. Like, he's so busy with his work now, and we don't have, I don't have a company, which I've gotten over mostly, and but it's really sad. That was really, it just goes to show you hanging out with the people you love really could change your life. And I have a so much better relationship with my brother now that we did that show together. And I just urge you, now that COVID is coming out of COVID a little bit, I know that it's kind of resurging a lot, so please be careful. But if there's somebody you think about a lot and you want to reconnect with them, you just reach out. Just text them. I did that last week with a couple of people where I'm like, why do you keep thinking about contacting this person? Just say hi. And I do, and it's wonderful, and you may or may not get together. You may make plans. That you never know. But just that, urge to contact someone, you should follow it. You should follow that impulse because there's something in your brain that, you're thinking about that person. Do it. Sam Winchester's wife asks, oh, hi, sushi or pizza? Sushi. always sushi. Although I love pizza. That's a hard one. I don't like you. I'm just kidding. Sushi. I think I could eat sushi every day for the rest of my life. Pizza, I could eat once a week. That's for sure. Aaron M. 4600 asks, how's the water intake? Is the bottle helping? Have you been warned for too much water yet? Hail hydrate. So I will not say that I did pay for this bottle. I was not given this for free. The Hydrate Spark is not the best. I mean, it has not turned on for a while. I don't know if the battery's broken or I don't know what's going on. It never really worked that well. And I will say that were I to do it again, I would not have invested in this particular one. But there are some, when I go to like Lululemon or like the grocery store, the house grocery store, I do see bottles that I'm like, that's a really pretty bottle. Or the yoga studios I walk by, I'm like, that's a really hot bottle. And I think if I had a more attractive bottle that I liked looking at a little bit more, it would be as effective or better, more effective at getting me to drink water than this one that doesn't seem to light up anymore. So not to insult this, maybe it works for other people. I bought one for Amy. I don't think she's opened it. So I would not say that this particular bottle, but the fact that I paid so much money for it and the fact that I am working out a lot more, sorry, I had a little hiccup. The fact that I've been working out a lot more and just trying to be more conscious about it, I have been guilted into kind of dragging a bottle of water with me a little bit more. So I will tell you that I'm probably not where I need to be. I'm still kind of half desert, half swamp. But there is a sense that I am drinking a little bit more. So, you know, it got me to drink more water, even though I don't think it was the way that it was designed to get me to drink more water, but I do believe that I am drinking more water on average. I don't actually like drinking out of this bottle either. It's not that comfortable on the top, and I don't like drinking out of plastic particularly, so it is kind of nice to hold because it has this sort of soft outside. You know, I'm going to start a water bottle review blog, and I'll let you know. Yeah, I don't like drinking out of metal, so I think glass is I need to find a cool glass one that's covered that won't break and is pretty on the outside. You know, maybe I'll just stick with this one. I invested in it. It's fine. I will say, yeah, just treat yourself to a bottle that you feel fancy drinking, and then you maybe pay a little bit more than you're comfortable with, and that will convince you to drink more water. That's basically what I'm telling you. Cleves Mill. What do you find to be the most fascinating thing to you about the Greek era and the Bridgerton era? Would you choose to live in either of those eras? All right. I would not choose to live in any era other than this one unless I was like a billionaire, all right? Because I have to tell you, I'm really happy with my lifestyle. I am not super, super fancy, but I like my house. I'm fine. I don't think being, middle class or certainly not, poor in the Greek era, the Bridgerton area. I mean, honestly, you'd be enslaved. You would be dying of black lung. It was not good. And they were not very smart back then. I mean, they didn't know a lot. They were just there was no technology. Medical care, especially being a woman, forget it. Die in childbirth, check. So I would definitely not choose to live in either of their eras. For me, what is fascinating about history is that everything is arbitrary. So everything that all the rules that we follow, our surroundings, it's all made up. And humans will adapt to anything. If tomorrow nobody had a car, they were like, no, you can't have a car. It would be uncomfortable for a while. Yes, but we would all adapt. We would figure it out. And we would have lives that might be a little bit improved. Like maybe we would reconvene to be closer to everybody. And then maybe people would be a little farther apart. But that could be bad for society. So, it's all arbitrary. What we wear, the fashion, how we look, what we think is beautiful, what's old, what's young, how people should be treated. It's all completely arbitrary. And I love history that brings that to life for me, in that I could live during then. And what kind of life would I have? And what would our daily life be? I think it's fascinating. And that's what I love about it. The Greek era for me is, it's the nerdy sort of quality that we know people's names, and so it makes it more personal. I mean, really, all Greek myths and Roman, all of it is history. It's human history. And the Bible is the same thing. It's a history of a people, a tribe of people, And that's a very simplest. It's a recollection. It's everything that survived from thousands of years ago of people talking about their families in a bigger narrative way. And then it turned into a religion, or maybe it started as religion. Who knows? That's all up in the air. But, you know, when we're talking about Hercules, that could have been a guy who, you know, happened to be super good at something, and then he just became myth. And I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to me. So that's what I would say. Bridgerton era is, I don't know, it's just cheese. It actually just scratches that sort of, I want to be, it scratches the thing that is inbred in us as children, as girls, that I want to be picked by the prince. I'm so pretty, and it's my prettiness, and all I have to do is worry about, you know, my hair, my makeup, and being loved. And it is so, it's part of me that I hate myself about. I hate that that's really bred into women, that's their ultimate aspiration. And yet it's giving into our basest fantasies. That's what I feel. For real. It is the worst. It's kind of like the more intellectual equivalent of The Bachelor. I mean, I love it, and I think it's so well done. But I think in a basic way, like, romance novels are lady porn in a sense. And of course, that's all arbitrary, right? Like, all of that's put into our brains. Okay, my answer to some questions. This will be a shorty, but I will. So again, it's going to be a little bit weird. I'm going to have some live podcasts, some recorded like this. Give me some feedback, what you like better. I don't know. Should it be 2 different podcasts? Should I not upload the ones that are the live interviews? I kind of like them, but just give me some feeds on discord.gg/Felicia Day. And I want to thank all of you for supporting and listening to me. I will see you later. Bye.